that they will not take me in. That's why I was arguing about the other one. But this is my thinking, that tomorrow, those people you've said they are not eligible for deployment, they are not going to be given jobs in those ministries.
From your understanding of the law, because there are perceptions, opinions, but here
Mr. Speaker, I'm not a lawyer.
No, I'm just asking from your understanding.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not coming from the background of the law.
Okay.
I'm coming from the background of a moralist.
Okay.
A person who is thinking about this, because it is going to happen.
So how do we read
Mr. Speaker, this is what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking, Mr. Speaker. Instead of us thinking about, because we are going to meet the same challenges, instead of us thinking about termination, we could be thinking about transition. How do these people, because the functions and the work they've been doing, the ministries need it. And they have the experience. Now the ministry is going to recruit completely new people. So why don't we just think about transition, so that these people who have been doing this function from point A go do the same function in another point B. And that was my issue, now, Mr. Speaker.
I want to come on board with you. I shared with one of the people who are affected. Okay? Where he was, I think he was earning around 17 million. If you say transition to the ministry, he will earn 2.6 million. Okay? So some people are benefiting. Okay? Some people are benefiting because if they had to go to the structure of the ministry, some people are benefiting, others. In fact, most of the experts, my biggest concern is that we are going to lose most of the experts to international bodies, to international agencies, because these people, we spent a lot training them, they've gotten a lot of experience. Now when merger and all that came, they are running away. They are being taken. I don't know what we can do quickly to address this quickly so that we don't lose the expertise.
Mr. Speaker, I have a colleague. We were with him in this parliament. He lost the parliamentary seat, and he was always on the door of the presidency here to be recruited as an RDC. Mr. Speaker, this gentleman was given a job of assistant RDC, and is happy to do that job of assistant RDC. I don't know how much they earn, but from top there, earning as a member of parliament, somebody agrees to work as assistant RDC. That's how bad, Mr. Speaker, the situation can be.
That one wants political power to help him mobilize and come back.
Maybe it is livelihood, Mr. Speaker. And I am sure, Mr. Speaker, if we move the route of transition, let those that choose to go, but those that choose to stay doing their work should be protected.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Segona.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Today I have the pain of agreeing with the Attorney General in a number of respects. Yeah, I have the pain of agreeing with Honorable Chiwanuka. First of all,
you always submit from a painful point of view.
First, Mr. Speaker, from the moral perspective of the Honorable Nsamba, the moment we agreed to rationalize, you can only do so in accordance with the law, not morality. Number two, and I agree with the Attorney General that, you see, if people are recruited by different commissions or agencies under specific laws, they cannot simply transit into the mainstream public service. First, it will be illegal, because the mainstream public service has never recruited them. And it has got a specific procedures. It has got qualifications that are put in place. That's number one. Number two, earning more from these agencies. and then they are condemned to earn the 2 million. With again, it's illegal. And those are the same people who will be taking us to court. The question of redeployment, you are redeployed if you were deployed in the first place. If you have never been deployed in the mainstream public service, you cannot be redeployed in the same. You can only be recruited in accordance with the procedures put in place and in accordance with the terms and conditions. What do we learn from this? Two things. First, before we learn, my concern are those people that have been they were recruited in the mainstream public service. For example, in the former Ministry of Science and Technology, we have people that the Honorable Muruli Mukasa failed to absorb in the mainstream public service. I think that's what is irregular. And this time I want to thank government with our insistence that they had to do a meticulous job as the Attorney General considered. What do we learn from this? In the first place, to advise ourselves properly, addressing our minds to the law before we take certain actions. In the first place, we are the ones that created these agencies. And some of us were resisting. We were saying you will not have the money. Otherwise, if we take the route of the Honorable Nsamba, we lose of transition. We lose the whole essence. Why we went for rationalization is because we want to maintain a lean government. We want to cut costs. So if you say, just get all, then you are not rationalizing, and you lose the entire essence. Morally, I agree with him. The person who was recruited as RDC, actually deputy RDC, and accepted assistant RDC. Some of those titles exist anyway under the law. Those people were recruited. They did not transit. They went, put their CVs before the big employer and said, I'm ready for anything. So they were recruited, they were not redeployed.
Thank you. Honorable Fox Odoi.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, a few minutes ago when we were discussing the higher that there are matters that they consider macro, and there are matters they consider micro. The matters that fall in the realm of macro matters is legislation, for example, which should be our forte and our focus. Formation of departments, deployment of recruitment and deployment of people into those departments, retiring civil servants, terminal benefits of civil servants. We would be straying into the realm of micromanagement, into an area that is not our constitutional mandate. And it's from that background that I get terribly scared when I listen to the submissions of the Honorable Insaba. You know, matters of morality are very complicated. And I hasten to add, right on here on a daily basis and legislate only informed by one consideration, morals, we shall make mistakes. We shall perhaps be attempting to create a theocracy and we shall crash. Right Honorable Speaker, what am I saying? I think the Attorney General has made a very compelling case. I beg to move that we progress.
Thank you. Let's end with workers.
Thanks very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I've been listening to the arguments since the debates of RAPEX started, and the Honourable Mpuga raised a pertinent question. But my colleague, the Honourable Minister of Public Service, there is a way he answered it, and it was about, yes, you have decided to terminate, because you can't be forced on. There are two categories of people. There are those ones who are going to move from big amounts of salaries to small ones automatically. Those ones we shall lose them. They will grow to green pastures. But there are those ones who are saying we cannot refuse your termination. But how do I go? Termination must be calculated according to the existing law. Now, my question is, are we prepared? And this is what I wanted to get from the Minister of Public Service, that as we move with all these amendments, are these people put on the streets first to keep on checking for their packages, or they are going with their package once and for all? And to me, once that one is done to the workers, I will not have much comment.
Thank you. You wanted, yes, Esther, on the same then, Minister for Public Service, again answers.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, being a member of the Public Service and Local Government Committee, as we are considering the ministerial statement for public service for this running financial year, the Minister of Public Service, at his presentation, showed us a number of gaps and the problem the ministry is facing, that much as the committee, much as the different MDS are rationalizing, but there is a very big gap of funding. And in our report, when we presented it, it indicates, and as from the ministry's presentation, we had, they indicated that by then, 74.034 billion was required to fully ensure that all compensation matters are catered for. But they only indicated to us that it was 1 billion available, but it was only for the Ministry of Energy. That was only the energy, the Ministry of Energy, for it was okay. But the rest were not. So, Right Honourable Speaker, for the information that has been given, and given that much as our report recommended that Ministry of Finance should avail all the money that was pending, over 72 billion, could we first get that information from Finance? Because during consideration of the budget, that money still was not catered for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honourable Minister for Public Service.
Right Honourable Speaker and the Honourable Members, I am really impressed by the concern of the members over that issue of severance. I would like to once again reiterate what I said here on the floor when the question was raised, that the money now that is required to terminate or send off our servants and our colleagues is available. And as soon as we have put in place a roadmap of this exercise, especially for the bills that have been assented to, and even including this one, which is going to be passed here and will very quickly be assented to. The roadmap is that, yes, as soon as that is done, these people are going to get their money. If the money was not there, definitely I also want to reiterate what the Attorney General said. We would not have a certificate of financial implications for finance. Finance has agreed. And you realize, yes, there is now some time between when who are considering these bills in those committees up to now. And between then and now, there has been a lot of discussion, and I can assure you, honorable members, right honorable speaker, that nobody will be condemned to walking on the streets. Let me just clarify, you know, I'm an old man.
Honorable, that's not how we work. You know, you ask from your seat. You don't walk over and you face him in the face and you... he has to hear you, please.
Honorable Speaker.
You know, yesterday we were debating a statement for the elderly and they said they should be protected.
Thank you very much. I'm an elderly man, and my train of thinking need not be distracted. Let me clarify. I can assure you, right honorable speaker, that there should be no worry. This money is available, and people are not going to walk away on the streets waiting and knocking at the gates to get their terminal benefits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I now put the question that the motion for reconsideration of the National Commission for UNESCO Amendment Bill 2024 be adopted. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Uganda National Commission for UNESCO Amendment Bill 2024 as returned by H.E. the President, Bills Committee stage. The Uganda National Commission for UNESCO Amendment Bill 2024 as returned by H. the President, Clause 4.
Chair.
Mr. Chairman, the proposed amendment to the National Commission for UNESCO Amendment Bill 2024 as returned by H.E. the President, Clause 4, which talks of re-establishment of Uganda National Commission for UNESCO. We propose that this Clause 4 be deleted. Justification: the establishment of the department or departments in the ministries is generally handled administratively with the approval of Cabinet and not through an Act of Parliament. Therefore, the modalities of where within the Ministry of Education and Sports, the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO will be placed, shall be handled administratively. I beg to move.
Honorable colleagues, I put a question that Clause 4 be deleted. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
Clause 16. Chair, Clause 6 is consequential. I have to first finish.
Mr. Chairman, on Clause 16, substitution of Section 14 of the Principal Act. Clause 16 is substituted for the following. To repeal of Section 13 of the Principal Act, and Section 13 of the Principal Act is repealed. Justification, Mr. Chairman, having transferred the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO to the Ministry responsible for education, the employees of the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO, including the Secretary General, will be redeployed administratively. 2, to renumbering of Section 14 and 13 is intended to conform to the numbering of the revised Uganda National Commission for UNESCO Act, Cap 28. Mr. Chairman, I beg to move.
Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Chair. There are two other issues which were addressed in the President's letter, and that's the issue of the Commission, the use of the word Commission, and the issue of the employees, which the committee did not consider. I beg that we consider the same, Honourable Chair. He had a general comment on the use of the word Commission in sections 5, 14 and 15, in clauses 5, 14, 15.
So you think if we handle 16, then we can come back and we handle those other issues?
Most obliged.
Okay, thank you. Honourable colleagues, I put a question that section 16 be repealed as proposed. Those in favour say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
No, we are done. We already started. No.
Mr. Chairman, on Clause 6, amendment of Section 2 of the Principal Act, Clause 6 is substituted for the following. The amendment of Section 1 of the Principal Act and Section 1 of the Principal Act is amended by repealing the definition of the words board, chairperson, and the Secretary General. Justification. It is a consequential amendment arising from the repeal to the board of the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO and the Office of the Secretary General. 2. The renumbering of Section 2 to Section 1 is intended to conform to the revised Uganda National Commission for UNESCO Act, CAP 28, which took effect on 1st of July 2024 after the revision of the laws of Uganda. Mr. Chairman, I beg to move.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I'll first take you back, because you see we've repealed under Clause 16, we've repealed Section 13 of the Principal Act, but then we have not deleted Section 16 of this bill. Okay? So, yes, so I have looked at from an angle of being consequential, but I need to put a question for that. So that is deleted from the bill also. Yes, we repealed, okay? So I put the question for repealing, which was Section 13 of the Principal Act. Now I'm going to put a question that Clause 16 of the bill be deleted. Those in favor say unto the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Now this screen is it up. We have repealed Section 13 of the Principal Act, but also deleted Section 16 of the bill so that they don't conflict. Thank you. Yeah, Chair, may you repeat the other one? I was just, on 6. Sorry,
on 6.
Taking you back.
On 6, Mr. Chairman, we said that Clause 6 is substituted for the following. The amendment of Section 1 of the Principal Act and Section 1 of the Principal Act is amended by repealing the definition of the words board, chairperson, and Secretary General. And we gave justification. It is a consequential amendment arising from the repeal of the board of the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO and the Office of the Secretary General. 2, the renumbering of Section 2 to 1 is intended to conform to the revised Uganda National Commission for UNESCO Act, CAP 28, which took effect on 1st July 2024, after the revision of all the laws of Uganda. Mr. Chairman, I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I put the question that clause 6 be substituted as proposed. Those in favor say aye. To the contrary, nay.
Clause 6 as amended.
Honorable colleagues, I put a question that clause 6 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. To the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The title.
I was asking, I was going to ask Attorney General, that do you think we can handle that issue of the word commission at that time when we are handling the title, or you feel we should handle it on its own? Okay.
Right Honorable Chair, His Excellency the President, when he returned the bill, had an issue with the continued use of the word commission. The committee in its report found that the use of the word commission should be maintained, to which we may not have an objection, but we pray that then commission be defined in the law to mean a unit or such department, unit, or such other structure in Ministry of Education known as Ugandan National Commission for UNESCO. Because his issue was that you keep using the word commission, and the committee has found that commission is an internationally used word for all these agencies, and therefore would like to have an amendment to the definition of commission to address that. And then lastly, Right Honorable Chair, the President also did raise an issue in respect to Section 31(5), which the committee proposed be maintained. However, I'm proposing that an amendment be made to that to address the issue we're addressing. Consequential, yes.
Yes, I think, Honorable colleagues, the Attorney General is saying we amend clause 1, which is interpretation clause. Okay? And I think that won't be in conflict with Rule 143(5) of our rules of procedure, because that's the best place where we can find the interpretation, and we can address the concern of the President with regard to interpretation. So, Attorney General's definition, the one he has put on record, are we colleagues okay with that?
Mr. Chairman, we have no objection because they will have defined it, and we have no problem with that.
Okay. So honorable colleagues, I put a question that clause 1 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 1 as amended.
I put a question that clause 1 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
Attorney General, is it on clause 31?
Yes, 31(5). Right Honorable Speaker, for clause 31(5), it currently reads that the staff of the Commission serving immediately before the commencement of this Act may be redeployed to serve in the public service subject to availability of position. I'm proposing, Right Honorable Chair and colleagues, that this be amended to read: the staff of the Commission serving immediately before the commencement of this Act would be retired on abolition of the office and may apply to serve in the public service subject to availability of position. I beg to submit.
Honorable Jonathan Odo.
Mr. Speaker, I get a contradiction from the guidance, the earlier guidance that the Attorney General gave to us. Yeah. I think what the President wanted to deal with is to give the staff an entitlement as a right to transition. So by adding the word again, may, you are taking us back to the same problem. let the termination be done, and whoever wants to apply, if a job is available, it will be done. So the last part of your amendment is actually going to not to cure anything.
Attorney General, are you okay with that?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Chair. So the clause will then read, the staff of the commission shall immediately before the commencement of this act be retired on abolition of office. Full stop. I beg to submit. I agree. Thank you very much, Honorable colleague.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I put a question that clause 31 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 31 as amended.
Honorable colleagues, I put a question that clause 31 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The title. The title.
Chair. I put a question that the wrong title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, I beg to move that the House do resume and the Committee of the Whole House reports thereto. I beg to move.
Honourable colleagues, I put a question that the House do resume and the Committee of the Whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report from the Committee of the Whole House.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has reconsidered the bill entitled the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO, amended Bill 2024, as returned by His Excellency the President, and pass it with amendment. I beg to move. I beg to report.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the report from the Committee of the Whole House be adopted.
Honourable colleagues, I put the question that the report of the whole House be adopted. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Bills third reading.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO, amended Bill 2024, as returned by His Excellency the President, be read the third time and do pass. I beg to move.
Honourable colleagues, I put the question that the National Commission for UNESCO, amendment Bill 2024, be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled.
Honourable Minister, honourable members, honourable Chair, congratulations. Thank you so much for passing these two critical bills. I direct the clerk to extract the bill and transmit it for the President for assent. Now, Honourable Attorney General, I haven't checked my records, but Honourable Agnes Kunihira raised the question here on the employment bill. I don't know which was sent long time ago to His Excellency the President. Haven't checked whether you've already sent it back to our office or...
Right Honorable Speaker, please indulge me. I'll need to check on its status and revert back to the House. I really can't say off the cuff.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, in the public gallery this afternoon we have students and teachers from Buropa Secondary School located in Bugabura County South, Kamuri District. They are represented in Parliament by Honorable Kibadia Henry Morris and Right Honorable Kadaga Rebecca Ritwara. They've come to observe proceedings of this House. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you. Attorney General, yesterday, indeed, I requested you to lay on table a confirmation that our law students are going to be admitted to LDC. So kindly, if you could do that, you could just read what is in the rate and then you lay on table.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, yesterday I did report that the Law Development Centre had commenced the process of admitting the intake of the 1,643 students who are left out. I beg to lay the notice and the communication sent out by the director to cater for the 1,643 applicants that had not received admission letters for the academic year 2024-2025. The admission board has admitted all the above applicants the second intake commencing on 6th January 2025. All applicants will receive notifications regarding their admissions via emails provided to the LDC at the time of the application by 5 p.m. Thursday, 26th September 2024. For any inquiries, please contact our admissions office on admissions@ldc.ac.ug. Dr. Pamela Tibikira Kariegira, Director, LDC. I beg to lay, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Attorney General, that's one group sorted. Now we have medical interns. I think, you know, the other day when I said I'm not always on social media. I'm not on social media. But you always, yes, I have handlers who do that. I want to clarify. But again, they pick out for me a few things which are critical, especially require my attention, and they ensure I get them. Then when Man U wins, I go there to see how Man U players are celebrating. Okay? So I go to look for Man U players, Man U fans, how they are. So I read a little. Because sincerely speaking, social media is usually toxic. And I control what I consume. So it shouldn't be a case for me to say, but I saw they extracted for me some stuff and I had to pick my phone and check. So saying, you are lying, you're always on social media, you post, you do what? Yes, I control what I see. I can even see someone there are people whose posts I don't open. Okay, so I can decide to do that. So, but now yesterday, really many of the medical interns are saying, because most of you are lawyers, you've rushed to handle issues of lawyers. Medical interns. Is there any progress?
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I know a lot about the law, very little about medical interns, but from my sitting in cabinet, I know that this matter is being addressed. The biggest challenge that the Ministry of Health was having was the trainee, the instructor. Whereas for lawyers, you can have one instructor instructing 100 students. That was the challenge. But I can tell you, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, that that matter is being handled, and we are going to come back here to the House with some good news. But Right Honourable Speaker, I must also say that I also consume a bit of social media, and last night as I was consuming some social media, I found an obscure Team 20, something had they dealt with Man U and they had failed to think, while Arsenal on the other side was doing 5-1. Thank you.
Now, some of you are denied speaking opportunities, you go complaining. You don't know the cause. It's such a issues. Thank you. Now, let's really, I will again check with the Prime Minister, because that issue of interns, we really need also to get to speak. The Prime Minister had promised that she's doing so. I'm going to follow up with her to next week the report on it. Okay. Honorable colleagues, I'm looking at our order paper. You know, this is the time for accountability reports. We would want sort of accountability because timelines are on our case. Now, I have the issue of Dr. Wanika, but I was informed much earlier in the morning. That's the issue which is being handled by Doug, and Doug is not here. And we wanted to handle it together with item number 5. So on Tuesday, it's what we shall begin with. Okay? So that we have it sorted. So let's handle item number 8. We just had debate. Wanted to have a short debate. Minister for Public Service here, Minister for Local Government is here. Let me start with Soroti.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, Parliament is a house of laws, and we respect our laws. Now, although I don't see the Prime Minister, but this is her time. Right Honorable Speaker.
So
Prime Minister's time.
That's what brought you today.
No. Or if you want me to say something, I can say, because
no, honorable colleagues were around.
Okay.
And now I'm about to change strategy. Put matters of national importance last. Because I have seen many of us come, raise our matters, run away. Okay? And then the next day, you're repeating issues which we saw today. So I'm about to, if it can help, to retain you here. So I will do matters of national interest later. Because the ministers also sometimes come, address matters of national importance and go away. So let's start. Yes. Yes, Honorable.
Mine is slightly related, but the main issue is that if we take some time not having the Prime Minister, and she's not sending someone over the matter we've promised now from last week, this week, about the Chitezi update. So could we please know what is the response to that? Assuming the Prime Minister is not here herself, normally present, or she can even give us that update through one of the ministers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the Prime Minister sent her apology. She's still in New York. She's the one representing the country at the UN General Assembly. She's speaking a lot of English there. So you should watch, and she's doing a very good job down there in New York. So, but she talked to me at the morning, and she explained to me, because the other day they had a meeting which was chaired by the Right Honorable Kadag on the same issue, and even Kitezi, and even on Monday in the cabinet, it's going to be again addressed. Then she will come next week with a full update. They didn't want to come with piecemeal. So she's returning tomorrow, and we shall ensure that they respond. Yeah. No, the Prime Minister can delegate, but once she consults with me and I allow her, okay, then really she has no case. So blame me, not the Prime Minister. And Rob, please defend me. Hey.
Honorable Speaker, you've not given me instructions as counsel to defend you, so I will not defend you. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to suggest to government again that work of this House should not stall. The Prime Minister has got about 3 deputies. He's the first Deputy Prime Minister, second Deputy Prime Minister, third Deputy Prime Minister. Yesterday we were here, and the Minister for National Guidance sat in for the Prime Minister. I recall a couple of months back, the Prime Minister wrote to your office, the leadership of this House, indicating that always in her absence, the Right Honorable Lukia Nakadama will act as Prime Minister. I don't know if that has changed. My point is, we should not be stalling because the lead of government business is not present. Because, Honorable Speaker, even according to our rules...
Now you've been a hostile council. I called upon you to defend.
Because you have not paid consideration. But as the rules do dictate, business takes precedence. But now we are having a stalling of that. I don't know what your guidance is going to be, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
So that there is no repeat of this situation.
Thank you. In fact, Honorable colleagues, yes, Thursdays we usually dedicate it to members' issues. That's what the rules also, by the way, demand. So, but we try to be flexible. That's why you see, like now, this motion for Honorable Nsababuturo, I ensure that indeed we handle it today, because it's a very critical motion, then the petition and all that. So, but the Prime Minister talked to me, and then she asked me, she said, what do I do? I said, no, Right Honorable, since you've been following up this issue extensively, some of these issues, and on some I know, like we've talked, the meetings are not yet conclusive, okay? Please come next week and handle. So today I will take the break myself. Maybe I guided her wrongly, but it's me who guided her. Okay? Procedure, Honorable Numbers.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we have, it is true we have more than one person deputizing first, second, and third Prime Minister. But the point of procedure I want to raise is whether it is not procedural okay for this House to be addressed on what has been trending, mostly in social media, but through a video by the Right Honorable Third Prime Minister Rebecca Kadaga, alleging that people tried to assassinate her twice. Wouldn't it be procedural okay, Right Honorable Speaker, if this House would be briefed about such a allegation? And maybe that is one of the problems, the reasons why she's not here. Because I saw her, I saw the video myself, Right Honorable Speaker, the Right Honorable Kadaga herself, alleging that people had tried to assassinate her twice. Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleagues, the Right Honorable Kadaga is a member of this House. Yes. If she feels this matter to be reported to this House, or to be discussed in this House, she would raise it here. Okay? Okay? Yeah? So, please. The Honorable Nabukenya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I wanted to get clarification or information from the Attorney General. Last year, when the President met the Directorate of Public Prosecution, he promised that in a short time you'll be tabling the Witness Protection Bill. And I think it's a year now, and we haven't seen it here in Parliament. So I want to know exactly, because most of the organizations, even the prosecutors, they all want to see a law in place. So, Attorney General, please, can you inform this Parliament when the government is going to table the Witness Protection Bill? Thank you.
Attorney General.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, thank the member for the question. The Witness Protection Bill has been drafted. The cost implication of the Witness Protection Bill was a bit prohibitive, and we are waiting to get guidance on how to proceed with it. So that's the challenge. The cost implication for the Witness Protection Bill was really huge. So that's where we are.
Thank you.
We shall come back to the House and report on it.
Item 8.
Item 8, motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Public Service and Local Government on the functionality of district service commissions and city service commissions and personal management in selected local government districts across northern, eastern, and western region.
Debate begins now. Honorable Babiku, Honorable Nzima, Tochi, Honorable P, Honorable Katsawe, Honorable Ranya, Honorable Nachimwero. Have I mentioned it well? Yes. Honorable Wanika, Honorable Santa. Thank you. Those are enough for this. We got other items.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My concern is on the non-functionality of some of these commissions in our districts presented in the report. Right Honorable Speaker, the non-functionality affects service delivery because human resource availability is very key. Therefore, I will recommend that Ministry of Local Government ensures that all district local governments have functional district service commissions. To Right Honorable Speaker, there was an issue of corruption where employment of people is dependent on choice of individuals, especially leaders. Right Honorable Speaker, I feel investigations be done, because if people are not recruited on merit and placements are done on favor, that means that the outcome of the services offered are not going to be qualitative. Therefore, those districts mentioned, I feel more investigation be done and decisions be taken based on evidence so that we don't encourage such acts. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to comment on issues where politicians have been mentioned. Right Honorable Speaker, often allegations are made that elected leaders bring their own supporters to positions. And at times, if this is not put with the clear evidence, you find that we elected leaders are lumped together. Therefore, I feel where there is no specific mention of the specific leaders, that be deleted and evidence-based information be considered. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Nzima. No, I wrote the list. And we are done. Those who stood up, I noted. And we stopped there. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to make comments on 3 areas concerning this report. The issue of non-functional functionality of these public service commissions are issues that there are 3 issues that affect them, among which is also political influence. When you look at some of these people who are appointed as district service commissions, some of them are relatives or agents of some of these politicians, particularly LC5 chairpersons. You find that when some people are nominated as the Public Service Commission members, these nominees, if they are not formally supporters of LC5 chairpersons, many of them are rejected. And sometimes they cannot pass through. This leads to failure to constitute the District Service Commission. And sometimes when they fail to constitute the District Service Commission, they cannot go ahead to organize interviews. There are very many other, because, Mr. Speaker, sir, for a District Service Commission to function, it must, the composition must be complete. If it is not complete, it may not function. And in that case, they cannot organize interviews. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, some time back we had recommended that maybe Ministry of Public Service should look at a way of recruitment of District Service Commission. it should not be maybe an direct appointment or by the district leadership, because this is subjected to influence. And then the second issue is the issue of facilitation. Many times we talk about corruption, but Mr. Speaker, sir, facilitation of district service commission members varies from one district to another. There are cases you find that the allowance of a district service commission member can be like 20,000. Some of them come very far from away from the district center. Even sometimes the facilitation cannot be enough to facilitate their transport. Now, in this kind of situation, we would think if the payment could be uniform and paid from the center, in my opinion, this could solve the issue of facilitation. Then the element of nepotism. This is my last point, Mr. Speaker. When you look at most of these districts, the issue of nepotism is very high. In some cases, they can even be wage bill to recruit people. But because there may be no money, I mean, the people feel they should recruit their own relatives. Sometimes they wait for people who are still in institutions. And yet, the wage bill is returned. This affects service delivery. Therefore, for me, I think we need to engage and sensitize the District Service Commission people such that the issue of nepotism can be. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to end here.
Thank you. Chiboga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I belong to the Climate Change Committee and the Natural Resources Committee. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of the district service commissions, it is provided for that in case the service commissions are not duly constituted, then they can use the services of the neighboring local government to help them approve and fulfill some of the activities. But Right Honorable Speaker, from the report, it was brought out that I don't know whether districts fear to borrow or it is very expensive to hire or use the services of the neighboring districts. Remember, most of the districts were broken off from the main districts. So, Right Honorable Speaker, it is important that officers from the national level advise on which district commissions are fully constituted, such that some districts that are still struggling to fulfill up with their commissions go ahead to borrow the services. Right Honorable Speaker, there is an issue of lack of grievance mechanisms. For example, when the commission takes long to approve, or when they don't approve certain names that have been submitted, and you find that candidates call members of parliament, call RDCs, call wherever, have been denied. The public needs to know where exactly to report in such cases, other than the court, because you find that they have nobody to report to. So the grievance mechanisms at local government or at national level concerning the constitution and composition and also executing duties of the commission are concerned. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Those are some of the issues I saw.
Thank you, Dr. Pio.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also like to add my voice on the issue of functionality of District Service Commission. There is failure to function because they don't exist, but there's also issues of failure to function where they exist. And I will just give an example with my district, the issue of acting position. The district engineer is acting. The DHO is acting. The head of procurement is acting. The head of internal audit is acting. The CFO is acting. And some of them have acted more than 8 years. I always say when you've acted for more than 8 years, you're not acting, you're just reacting and not serving the people. And I think it's time the public service comes out very strongly, because our guidelines provide that you can only act for 6 months with an extension for another 6 months itself. There must be clear directives from Ministry of Public Service
to make these district service commissions functional. Then lastly is on the issue of transfer of service. Within one district service commission, currently it's not feasible or possible to transfer. You can transfer cows, but you can not transfer a head of a department from one district to another district. I think it is time that we need to revise that and provide so that they can be transferable. Otherwise, we'll continue having challenges in service delivery in this country.
Thank you. Honorable Kaberuka.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I happen to be having roots from local government because I started as a leader at parish level, district level, and now at Parliament. Mr. Speaker.
Now, what next?
We're going to see next. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to be honest when we are talking about the District Service Commission, the performances. We have a lot of enablers that have been deliberately removed by central government to always make local governments, you know, a stepping stone to make sure they get a blame game. And one of them, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member has said that some commissioners are paid 20,000, which cannot even make them commute from home to work. So that means that the local government, the decentralization policy was weakened by the central government deliberately to make sure we always get a blame, whom to blame in performance. At first, they first removed the DHOs, they centralized them. They are moving to powers, they centralized them because they failed to empower local governments. May I request, Mr. Speaker, through you, the Minister of Public Service, the Minister of Local Government is here. Why is it that local governments are not being given commensurate resources to make them operational? For example, when we talk about these chairpersons choosing the campaigners, that is what is happening at the national. What's the picture at the national level? What's the picture at the national level? We need to know that once they are empowered, they can leave out some, you know, issues that would be trivial. But the problem is local governments, Mr. Speaker, don't have even money to make them sit. And can we have a deliberate commitment by the central government to make sure lower district service commissions, even land commissions, most of these commissions are not working. They are not working because they don't have commensurate resources. And now that you have even removed the local revenue at the center from local government, you have now put them at the center. They get them in the ensuing year. That one has made them even more difficult for them to operate. So when we are blaming these commissions, we need to be fair because you cannot operate without resources. So what I would request, Mr. Speaker, the government here, the central government, they are now craving for merging. They are craving for resources. They even want to merge local governments. The reason why they are incapacitating them is that they get also, because they want to merge. Tomorrow we are going to see that they even want to merge Parliament. I beg that we have a commitment from the
Honorable Court Peter.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, because of the fear of the unknown, most of the district service chairpersons tend to rely on instruction from the appointing authority, who in most cases, and is the case, is the district chairperson. You find that service deliveries at the district levels are questionable because of, as colleagues have said, because of the acting position. Nobody would concentrate, well aware that his position is not sure of. Wage may be there, but for the district service to sit, the chairperson of the district must hold the shot. So I would advise that since that is a challenge, the appointment of district service chairperson should come from the center. Should come from the center, from the ministry. Okay? But proposed locally. Okay? Proposed locally, but appointment done by the center, as opposed, because now the names are proposed by the district, which in most cases the district chairman, matters is approved by the council. The names are sent to the ministry and approved at that point. But still the power of appointing them remains at the center. So, Right Honorable Speaker, that needs to be reviewed. Secondly, of all the commission chairperson and the members, it is on the chairperson who is a full-time person and is the only one remunerated. The rest only come in when they are required. And as stated, when they come, the money they spend on transport alone is even more than what they are paid as allowance. So that automatically brings in the element of corruption when they get an opportunity to ensure that something comes to them because they are not earning enough. So that also needs to be looked into so that we address some of these issues of corruption within the commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Santalum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me thank the committee. Mr. Speaker, I have two issues. One, the report made mention of lack of independence of the commission. Mr. Speaker, if we are to see an independent commission and less corrupt, let's deal with the issue of money. If they are not well facilitated in this country of ours, what do we expect? Even in Parliament here, we are independent because we are well facilitated, Mr. Speaker. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about the issue. Yes. Mr. Speaker, protect me from Honorable Okupa Elijah.
I'm protecting you from people who are not independent.
Yes. At least, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution says so. And we swore by this Constitution that we are supposed to remain independent as we transact our business as members of Parliament. So if you have forgotten, the Constitution is there for you. Number two, Mr. Speaker, the report made mention of lack of training / induction. The Minister of Local Government, Public Service is here. Honorable Minister, these people are appointed, they remain in offices and doing a very important role for recruitment of officers in various districts, but they are not inducted. Where is the problem? Because some of the mess that they find themselves in probably is arising out of non-induction. Because these are, in most cases, Mr. Speaker, most of these people are retired civil servants from many and various disciplines. And if they are not inducted, then what do we expect, Mr. Speaker? Then, finally, we are talking about corruption, nepotism, call it tribalism, Mr. Speaker, in local government is serious. I remember in one local government that I don't want to mention, one of the officers was recruited from another region, and he was completely rejected because he was not coming from that locality. So all this goes back to induction that we are missing. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable Katsabe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. The two concepts in management, effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness is doing the right thing, and efficiency is doing the right thing right. Now, I've heard one of us saying that the leadership of the committee or the District Service Commission should be transferred or retransferred to the center. No, it can't be this parliament, because it is the same parliament in its own wisdom. that felt it prudent and important for the service commission to be based and originated from the district or the districts. So it can't be this parliament. That is a no-go zone. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable colleagues, I want to draw your attention to the membership or the constitution of these committees or commissions. Yes, they're district-based, but we have also to recognize that we have different communities in terms of constituencies. Now, if the chairman is coming from constituency A, it is possible that the membership of their particular committee is going to have a lot of, literally 99% or 100% of members coming from his community. And I think it is up to this parliament to ensure that we take interest in the composition or the constitution. And
okay, conclude.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Our constitution, Mr. Speaker, is crystal clear that when we look at the constitutions or membership of entities, they have to reflect or factor in the element of gender. There are a lot of commissions in this country. There has no membership in terms of gender reflected, no woman. And I don't want to stop at female members. I want to go a step further and add the members from the disability community. We should, as a matter of fact, this parliament, that we add that element or segment of at least 2 women or female members on that committee and at least 1 from the disability community. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister. No, honourable colleagues, when we were starting, I said those who want to submit stand up, okay? No, I didn't. You didn't stand up. No. Yes. No, there are no things of 1 minute, honourable colleagues. We will give, yeah. Did I mention Dr. Wanka? Now, then if I mentioned Oranya, I should allow Bwanika to cancel him out. So, Oranya, Rope has intervened for his people.
Thank you.
Honourable Minister, wait a bit.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I am happy that the Minister in charge of Public Service is here. The roles of the district service is being bogged down by the ministry. Right Honourable Speaker, for the last 3 years, the ministry halted the recruitment of staffs in all the local government. Right Honourable Speaker, when the ministry stopped the recruitment, district service becomes redundant. They have no work. The roles of the district service is to recruit, advertise, do interviews, but when the ministry is stopping them never to recruit, it means we are rendering their services redundant. So the minister should clarify on the recruitment. We have other districts that have very few substantial head of departments. For example, Omoro District Local Government. Omoro District Local Government has only 3 substantial heads of department. The rest are acting. Right Honourable Speaker, we normally interact with all the district local government. The problem is from the ministry. 2, Right Honourable Speaker, we need to empower local government. Local government are incapacitated in facilitating the sittings of the district service, even the sittings of the local councillors. The law says the local councils should be paid from the locally raised revenue. We have other local government without local revenue. They cannot facilitate the council's sittings. So, Honourable Minister, we need to be very interest on the local government if you are to succeed. If not,
Honorable Wanika.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Right Honorable, I want to comment on two recommendations that were made by the committee. In order to cure corruption within the district service commission, the answer is in the e-recruitment system. And the public service must expedite on this because it will promote transparency, and it is in the e-recruitment system where we can find the trust. Without that, the way we are working now, corruption will increase, knowing that these people are almost not paid. And then lastly, there is another recommendation they made that is very, very important, that remuneration, there should be monthly remuneration to all the district service commission members. This is very, very important. When you look at what is provided for now, between 18 to 24 million facilitation to a district service commission, it does not provide for remuneration of these very important people who recruit others who are going to benefit. In order to cure, it is important, Right Honorable Minister, Right Honorable Speaker, that we provide for them monthly remuneration. I want to submit.
Fine, Honorable Ismail. Then Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on the same point on the functionality of the District Service Commission. Honorable colleagues, we cannot blame the functions of the Service Commission on the appointment authority. The people who confirm the appointment is the Public Service Commission. When you go through the process, the chairman LOC 5 appoints, approved by the council, and confirmed by the Service Commission, the Public Service Commission. So the chairman nominates, the council approves, and then the Public Service Commission confirms, and the onus is on them either to reject or to accept. Therefore, all the failures of the service commissions are from the center, and of which I support validly the point of Honorable Olanya, that on the ban of recruitment, where will the service commission get activities to carry on? I beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable Minister for Local Government. There are not many issues, just use 3 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and members for raising these pertinent issues. Number one, there is a hidden corrupt person who is not easily identified with pinning evidence, and that is the chairperson LOC 5. And for us to pin people, we must have evidence. People are silent in coming out openly. Even the district members of the commission, some bribe to become, because they know they'll get money from the candidates. So we had risen the same point in cabinet that these people should be interviewed, or we set regional service commissions and we implement e-recruitment. So we are in the struggle. Soon it will come from cabinet to us. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, we are not just silent. When we get reports, we act. Right Honorable Speaker, I think this is my second time to say, I personally cancelled 322 positions illegally recruited by the leadership of Ntoroko, which had only 3 members, and the cow signed and put a levy. If you want this job, 5 million, 3 million, and so on. Bring us these cases, we shall investigate and act. Same with Kagadi, same with Kitagwenda, where a human resource had convinced all the teachers to join PDM to become parish chiefs so that they can steal 100 million. So once you report and there is evidence, we can do medicine. I want to confirm that this is true. The chairpersons have a big arm You can imagine Busia district spent over 2 years without a service commission because he had picked people who were corrupt and the council has refused them and he refused to pick any other. So tell us where the problem is, we shall join hands too. Then we need to improve on our laws to design a very, very strict law that pins the district and city service commissions. I'll give you an example of Fort Portal. They are lamenting. There are people who don't have qualifications. I wrote to the IGG in 2022. To date, nothing is done. They appealed to the Prime Minister. To date, nothing is done. And one of them sent me a message. You started very actively. What happened? What happened? I did my work. Because the anti-corruption state unit is okay charged, he gave charge sheets. But the matter is still lying in the anti-corruption court. And those people are rejoicing. Some have even stood up. They are contesting. So what should we do to the arms of government that delay intentionally to solve problems that are straightforward? We need.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I now put the question that the report of the Committee on Public Service and Local Government on the functionality of the District Service Commission and City Service Commissions and personnel management in selected local government districts across northern, eastern, and western region be adopted. Those in favor sign to the container. Ayes have it, Honourable Minister. We need an action taken report as per Rule 220 within 3 months. We'll be updating us. Next item.
Item 9 on the paper. Motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to promote, protect,
Mr.
and
Speaker,
reserve traditional seeds in Uganda.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I don't know why my
Thank
brother,
you.
the clerk, insisted when you have allowed me. I am concerned and I would apologize to you if I sound like taking you back, but the minister told us they need to make a law. And we are leaving that statement hanging without the minister telling us what their ministry is doing. And yet she knows we cannot bring that law as private members.
Thank you.
And two, we have equipped her, one, to have the technical knowledge, and two, with the mandate to bring the law. And she has not told us.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, go and bring the law. Thank you. No, you don't need now
Most
to
obliged,
open.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Yes. That's, she has already identified the need. She's going to address it. Item 9.
Item 9. Motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to promote, protect, and preserve traditional seeds in Uganda.
Honourable Sababuturo.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move this motion under Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament of Uganda. And the motion is, Mr. Speaker, for a resolution of Parliament urging government to promote, protect, and preserve traditional or indigenous seeds in Uganda. Mr. Speaker, sir, whereas Objective 14 of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda states that the state shall endeavor to fulfill the fundamental rights of all Ugandans with regards to social justice and economic development. And whereas Objective 22 provides that the state shall, through mass education and other appropriate interventions, take necessary steps to encourage people to grow and store adequate food, establish national food reserves for food security, and encourage and promote proper nutrition in order to build a healthy state. Aware that farmers who traditionally derive their livelihood from planting traditional seeds, which are considered to be more affordable, accessible, taste better, and are better adapted to local conditions, are facing challenges owing to factors that include rapid population growth, low yields, and deliberately designed propaganda, which is orchestrated by local and international promoters of non-traditional varieties. Noting that farmers in Uganda are, not by choice, Mr. Speaker, resorting to planting non-traditional seeds, despite their known grave limitations such as expensiveness, unaffordability, and as well as inaccessibility. Advocating that government must ensure that traditional seeds are protected, promoted, and preserved, and are of quality, with a view to defend the independence and sovereignty of Uganda as a nation, popularize nutrition, and ensure food security. Acknowledging that the two primary goals of non-traditional seeds are designed to replace and lead to extinction of traditional seeds, as well as turn African farmers and people into a huge market for non-traditional seeds and pesticides. Concerned that non-traditional seeds which are promoted by multinational seed corporations are planted once, unlike traditional seeds which are preserved and can be planted for as many countless seasons as possible, thus enabling farmers to sell, consume, and keep some of their seeds. Further concerned, Mr. Speaker, that reliance on non-traditional or non-indigenous seeds will inevitably lead Uganda to becoming fully, painfully, and humiliatingly dependent on multinational seeds corporations, which have patented their seeds, so that local farmers' recourse is to buy the same seeds every planting season. Now, Mr. Speaker, be it resolved by the House that government promotes, protects, and preserves traditional or indigenous seeds for purposes of, among other things, defending our food systems, independence, and survival. 2, government improves through public funding, research, and financial support to farmers the quality of traditional or indigenous seeds. 3, the government encourages farmers through awareness campaigns and educational programs to appreciate and embrace benefits of traditional seeds. 4, Mr. Speaker, government implements policies to protect traditional seeds so that they are not replaced by non-traditional seeds. And 5, ensures availability of quality traditional seeds to farming communities. 6, Mr. Speaker, encourages citizens to establish traditional seed banks. And 7, establishes seed banks and other preservation methods to maintain genetic diversity of traditional seeds. 8, government provides education, resources, and other incentives to farmers who grow and maintain traditional seed varieties. 8, Mr. Speaker, 9, beg your pardon. Government stands up to local and international promoters of non-traditional seeds whose primary goals are to attain universal control of the seed sector by themselves, create a huge market for their seeds and pesticides, as well as cause extinction of traditional seeds. Mr. Speaker, sir, 11 rather. Government should check activities of Eurocentric local research scientists, some of whom are hobnobbing with seed corporations in order to promote the latter's market for their seeds and herbicides. Mr. Speaker, finally, government designates a department in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to promote, preserve and protect traditional seeds. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Abturo. Is the motion seconded? Honorable Namboze, she has said the whole house. Singa Nachumero, Paparu, Ismail, Adiek, Aogon, Katabazi. Today, Honorable colleagues, is 15th anniversary, marriage anniversary of Honorable Katabazi. So I want to congratulate him. Cherkut, Tony Ayo, Okiror. Thank you. Oh, I also have to consider the seconders. Emmanuel Rotara, Oranya Gilbert, Chema Sweet, and Wanda Richard. Thank you. Honorable, do you want to use 5 minutes to justify your motion?
Mr. Speaker, sir, seed is life. It is the most vital input in food production, and farmers' seeds are the lifeblood of Uganda's food sovereignty. For centuries, small-scale Ugandan farmers have been the backbone of the nation's agricultural success. Traditional seeds have long played a crucial role in food security, nutrition, and incomes of smallholder farmers in Uganda. Their inherent advantages include heightened resilience to adverse environmental conditions and remarkable medicinal and nutritional properties. These seeds, Mr. Speaker, are core to production and reproduction, which, taken together, guarantee both sovereignty and sustainability. Mr. Speaker, sir, this eminent and crucial role played by traditional or indigenous seeds is under threat from multinational seed corporations, which are behind the ongoing drive to take over worldwide control of the seed sector. These corporations, Mr. Speaker, don't want anyone else to have ownership of the seeds. Their propaganda runs that it is in the interests of local farmers that such ownership would address Uganda's ills, which they say are related to hunger, overpopulation, poverty, and climate change. Mr. Speaker, the blunt truth, though, is that these seed corporations have one main goal in mind, namely to attain for themselves global corporate control of the seed sector, as well as achieve increased production and sale of their synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. By dominating the seed sector, Mr. Speaker, and fertilizers and herbicides, these seed corporations will have a huge market which will qualify them to sell their seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides as monopolists worldwide. Mr. Speaker, once multinational seed corporations have achieved this monopoly control of the seed sector, fertilizers, and pesticides, they then will turn our farmers into a huge market, as well as make them dependent people who will be subjected to excruciating humiliation, exploitation, oppression, suppression, as well as domination to a degree that neither colonialism nor slave trade ever achieved. Successful dispossession of our farmers' traditional seeds would irreparably, irredeemably, permanently, and humiliatingly condemn us to food insecurity and loss of, among other things, seed sovereignty. Monopoly control of seeds by multinational seed corporations would lead to price increases, which would go way, way beyond the ability of most of our farmers. And such control or dominant levels of seed concentration into hands of these corporations would inevitably at some point, Mr. Speaker, threaten political stability of our nations. Seed sovereignty should be our legacy as Africans. Mr. Speaker, Uganda is facing a dangerous challenge, namely a deliberately well-designed extinction plan of traditional seeds. This further poses a multifaceted problem that has profound implications for our agricultural biodiversity, agricultural resilience, and cultural heritage. The demise of the traditional seeds would overlook critical advantages which our farmers already have, such as the fact that traditionally our local farmers plant, they harvest, eat, save, exchange, and sell their produce independent of external interventions. Traditional seeds, Mr. Speaker, once preserved can be planted the following season without a farmer having to go and buy seeds from elsewhere. Mr. Speaker, exclusive reliance on seeds which are supplied by multinational seed corporations would end this self-reliance of our farmers. It would also lead to a dependency syndrome by the latter, since seeds which are owned by multinational seed corporations must be purchased expensively every planting season. To avoid such dependency and other negative outcomes like loss of food security, sovereignty, and dignity by our farmers, government must ensure that traditional seeds are preserved, promoted, and protected. Mr. Speaker, our impeccable call for protection, promotion, and preservation of traditional seeds is premised on several factors. One, a primary goal of multinational seed corporations, which are bidding to control the seed sector worldwide, is to replace traditional seeds with their version of seeds. Two, these seed corporations' main goal is to become sole global suppliers of seed for planting. Three, their aim is to become monopolists and turn our farmers into one big market for their seeds. Four, without our concerted efforts to conserve and promote the use of traditional seeds, Uganda risks losing the rich diversity of our seeds and also invaluable genetic resources, which are essential for a sustainable agriculture and the preservation of its agricultural heritage. Five, in order, Mr. Speaker, to achieve seed hegemony, multinational seed corporations are planning to transition African farmers away from traditional seeds to patented seeds, fossil fuel-based fertilizers, and other inputs which the latter do control. To achieve this, they are seeking to institute legal and financial penalties throughout Africa against African farmers who fail to adopt their patent-protected seeds. They are also using tactics such as intimidation, bribery of our officials, and propaganda in order to gain legitimacy in our part of the world. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, one would not be in his or her right mind to sanction the demise of our own seeds in favor of non-traditional or non-indigenous seeds, over which we have no control. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Dr. Tara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I arise to second the motion moved by my honorable colleague, the Honorable Nsaba Buturo, urging government to promote, protect, and preserve traditional or indigenous seeds in Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, let me begin by saying that by not preserving our indigenous or traditional seeds, we are facing imminent security threat as a country. Our independence is being eroded, and This will render our country susceptible to persistent famine and even starvation of our people. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleague, just imagine a situation where, as a country, we are unable to produce food for our own consumption, where we've got to depend on foreign seeds, patented seeds, for our planting. I want to begin by saying the obvious, that these patented seeds are generally more expensive. They require very special care, including the use of herbicides and fertilizers. But also, most importantly, there is that propaganda that non-traditional seeds are more productive. I want to challenge us to pay keen interest on this matter, in that when we subject non-traditional seeds to the same conditions as our indigenous seeds, their productivity rather, is very, very minimal and disappointing. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, imagine long ago when our people used to harvest and select good varieties of seeds for planting in the next season. That is not anymore with the current trend where we are planting non-traditional seeds. These non-traditional seeds have terminator gene, which means that at every season you have to buy from the outlets and plant, and their products cannot be replanted. So which means our farmers, especially the rural farmers who cannot afford the cost of these seeds, will most of the time miss out in the planting season as they are looking for money to buy the seeds. And ultimately, with the current trend of climate change, you find that our farmers get money late, and by the time they are planting off season, and so you find that there is famine. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, in a number of countries where non-traditional seeds have been adopted, you find that most of the time now they are facing famine. And a typical case is Zimbabwe, where most of the farmers who were given farms started on planting non-traditional seeds, because that is...
Thank you. Honorable Gilbert Oranya.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, this motion is very crucial for the betterment of our people. Right Honourable Speaker, our parents used to preserve seeds for the next season. And currently, that traditional way of preserving seeds have disappeared. We used to preserve seeds like maize, simsim, nuts, among others. Currently, wherever our parents, wherever people want to plant, you are conditioned to go and buy from the certain suppliers. Right Honourable Speaker, this motion shall protect our people. The GMO seeds is taking control of the market in our country. And if you are not careful, Right Honourable Speaker, in 2-3 years to come, Uganda shall not be doing well.
No, but Honorable Ranya, we need to go, see, when we are putting here records, have to be clear that GMO seeds allowed in Uganda? Are they in Uganda being sold and planted?
Right Honourable Speaker, we haven't allowed GMOs officially in this country. But the truth of the matter is that those seeds are there. That is why the other time we discussed that government should be strict in controlling what enters within the country. The truth of the matter, on the market, our traditional seeds are now being replaced by the GMO seeds, which is very dangerous for our people. Finally, right, Honourable Speaker.
No, I really, honourable colleagues, I get concerned. Because you see, in tennis parliament where they brought this GMO bill, okay? Honourable Dr. Nsaba Buturu, we worked very closely to fail that bill because we knew the dangers of that bill. What we have are improved seeds, but not GMO seeds. Because GMO seeds, the requirement, we have some GMO products in terms of things, what we eat in the supermarkets, biscuits, medicine. But for the seeds, really, that we have improved seeds, but not GMO seeds, because the science required around it. But on organic, maybe yes, our technical person. We have a technical person here.
Right, Honorable. There is a difference between hybrid and genetically modified organism. I hear many times people confuse the GMOs. We don't have GMOs on our markets. Officially, they are not there. What we get, even the seeds we get from Namulonge, which they have been distributing to us now, those are improved, they are hybrid. They are not genetically modified. So there is a difference between the hybrid and the GMOs.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. As I wind up,
listen, Honorable Samba, I usually give you time, but these days you only stand up on procedure because you know it corners me to giving you. So now I'm not around it. Honorable Ranya,
thank you.
No, today you started
Honourable
with
Speaker, as I wind up, for that matter, we can replace with the improved seeds. But we need to understand more about that. Right, Honourable Speaker, looking at the improved seeds, currently the improved seeds requires our farmers to apply so many chemicals for the seeds to perform well. Farmers need to apply fertilizers and others. Yet our traditional seeds used to perform very well without the application of fertilizers. Therefore, it's quite paramount to preserve the traditional seeds than improve seeds.
Thank you.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I highly second this motion, and I pray that my colleagues should give time to our honourable member so that we enact this into law.
Thank you, Honourable Okiro Bosco, Honourable Wanika.
Right, Honourable Speaker. Right, Honourable Speaker. From
no, Wanika, I called him to give information. He wasn't submitting on substantively. It was on a specific topic.
Right, Honourable Speaker, from the onset, I want to clearly put it that I rise to support the motion. Honourable colleagues, see, over a period of time, we have moved away from where our starting point was. Right, Honourable Speaker, when I was growing up, there are those seeds like the groundnuts seeds which we used to have, which could transition from one season, second and third. Even the storage methods, I remember my grandmother in Usuk would pick certain maize cones and hang them in the kitchen where they smoke. That was the preservation method. But you would be able to replant. I know Senior Bwanika is creating a distinction that a hybrid and GMOs are something different. I will undertake a certain find, but I don't think there's a difference there. There is a way these people are passing through this hybrid process. If we have the indigenous which you could replant, why can't we replant the hybrid? That's a fundamental question which we have got to resolve. If we can replant the indigenous, why can't we replant the hybrid? I think we need to move carefully. And another thing, Right Honourable Speaker, which is very clear, I like the submission for the motion. The issue of patenting is very expensive. If the seeds are given to us and these seeds are patented, honourable colleagues, in the legal sense, patenting means for you to utilize those seeds, you have got to acquire the user rights. When somebody wakes up, and those are the seeds which are in our community, and somebody says these are patented seeds, you can no longer plant, we get locked down as a country. All it does, it really stifles us. But I want to thank the move of the motion that this is a very fundamental. Even government and Objective 22 has an obligation to protect and have a healthy state. So members, this is something which shouldn't stay at a level of emotion. This is something where a legislation needs to come in for us to reboost and have our indigenous crops take a center stage. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. And these are the questions the president asked when he was returning the GMO bill. Said, what are you doing about our indigenous seeds? Before you say, Honorable Wanika.
Thank you, Right Honorable. It is true, Right Honorable, that we are under the threat of the GMO. We are under serious threat by the GMO syndicates internationally. And there is no question we must preserve our indigenous seeds. That is, we must preserve that. But Right Honorable, we haven't moved out of the country. We import, I can give an example, we import Boer goats and Savannah goats from South Africa. Those are indigenous goats of South Africa. What South Africa did, they invested in selection. What we are calling indigenous seeds, we must invest in study and selection. They also have the traits for improving, but we need to invest in those studies. It is not only saying that we preserve, no, you invest and select what is the best. When you look, for instance, at the local chicken, there are chicken that lay eggs every day, and they can live for many months, like these ones which are improved. But the country, government must support the researchers so that they can select. If we don't do that, the threats which are in the justification by Honorable Sababutulo will come near to us very, very soon. These GMO seeds, you definitely cannot replant. The hybrid seeds, you may replant, but they are not going to give you the same productivity like the productivity you had originally. Because as you replant, you lose the traits. You lose the traits as you continue replanting. So, Right Honorable, what we need to do as a country, this is a very important motion that we must give attention and priority. If we don't, we are going to be enslaved by the manufacturers, those who have invested in these seeds. And these are multinationals. They are billionaires who have invested. The nation must move faster on this so that we select, we preserve our indigenous seeds for the future and for now. I submit, Right Honorable.
Thank you. Honorable Christine. Then Honorable Kenya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, currently, under our policy provision, we have the Agricultural Seeds and Plant Statute of 1994. And in the UFIN, there is a plan to bring the Plant Varieties Protection Bill and the biosafety regulations. And Minister of Justice is also proposing an amendment to the CD Act of 1994. And the Agricultural Seed and Plant Statute is providing for promotion, regulation, control of breeding, multiplication, marketing, coordination, importation, quality assurance, but they do not provide for protection and promotion of traditional seed varieties and practices. And that is why I thank my colleague for bringing this proposal on table. Right Honorable Speaker, seed is food, And seed defines our culture. And if we are not careful, us being the Pearl of Africa, part of our definition is the seed we have. So if we deal away with our indigenous seed, then we are losing our identity as well. Right Honorable Speaker, we have climate change issues at hand. And when people look at the effects of climate change, they forget that it also affects seed, directly and indirectly. First of all, the performance of seed is affected, but also when the soils are affected, then the quality of seed is also affected. And us as climate change activists, we are saying one of the adaptive mechanisms to the effect of climate change on seed is to use indigenous seed. Because in most cases, they have stood drought, they have stood flooding, they have stood strong winds, and so it is adaptive that we promote the use of indigenous seed. But Right Honorable Speaker, the way we preserve the seed and then the way our people are sensitized on seed management is still very weak. Currently, our farmers don't separate, for example, grain from seed. They just look at a luxuriant maize, yes, and then they choose that to be the seed for the next season. Not every grain is a seed. And so it is very important that the sensitizations to our farmers on how to preserve is shared. Right Honorable Speaker, granaries for food, granaries for seed should be improved at this moment when climate change has affected us. Demonstrations on how to effectively use this seed should be given to our people. Right Honorable Speaker, the reason why we are battling with hybrids, improved varieties, indigenous seeds is because the performance of the hybrids for a season looks very luxuriant, and people seem to think that they will perform better. But when you go sustainability of the performance of seed, the improved ones are very, very difficult to sustain. They call on regular reviews. You cannot use the same seed for different seasons. And then they have patent, and based on our weak monitoring of the quality, in most cases we allow such seed to come in, and then it adulterates our indigenous seed.
Thank you. Honorable Kenya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the mover of the motion and also second it. Right Honorable Speaker, this is a very important motion, and I think the Minister of Agriculture should pick all the discussion and see how to better. Because I would give an example. When we were young, we had so many types of beans in our community. You could see the creeping ones, but today you can't find them, Mr. Speaker. So that poses a question. What are we going to do in like 50 years to come? Because the improved seeds cannot last for long. And the original varieties can last longer, even for more than 50 years. So, Mr. Speaker, if we want to have seed quality assurance, we must go back to the original seeds. We need to have seed banks. There's one place in Uganda called Chiziba, Mr. Speaker. It is a community seed bank. They keep seeds, the original variety, and also those that are improved. They make sure they keep them, they sell them, and also use some to replant. We need to borrow this because the Minister of Agriculture, the Organization for Biodiversity has been supporting this. The Minister of Agriculture should make sure that we improve and also keep our original varieties. Because the original varieties will not give a big yield, Mr. Speaker, but the improved ones give bigger yields. So the commercial farmers and also those in business prefer to go for the improved ones, but leave out the original varieties. But that poses a problem, because that means people will prefer the improved ones. Then those ones are going to become extinct, totally extinct. And I must assure you that the nutrition content in those original varieties is better than those that are improved, because usually we are looking at quantity, not quality. So, Mr. Speaker, it is very important, and also we need to go legal and patent our products, because people come here and get our original products, they make new improved, and they patent them as theirs. So we need to, and actually this is not limited to seeds, Mr. Speaker, and also animals. We have animals that can sustain the situation, however hard it is, ticks, the new medicines that are very strong, that are not maybe adulterated, but you find that our local breeds can actually live on even in such condition. But now, with wanting a bigger yield, you find that our local animals are not considered good. We need to patent. We need to own what belongs.
Thank you. Giantonde. Then Honorable Moses. Giantonde.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the mover of this motion. These days, we are used to being given seeds to take to our farmers. Now they are all out crying, they need seeds. Not that they don't know how to store these seeds, but they can't be replanted. They're so-called improved seeds. And these seeds, we see that most of the plants, like the maize, at some extent you have to spray, because these new seeds, the improved seeds, are prone to pests. And because of the poor storage, our people are used to this old kind of storage. And because they store them the way they used to, you find that these seeds are prone to aflatoxins due to the storage. I want us to also interest ourselves in this. We are talking about these seeds, but I always use this Massacre road, and there are some sponges along the road. I use those local sponges, but you can't use a sponge for a week. And yet, with our indigenous seeds, you would maybe have those sponges for some time. So I see everything is really deteriorating.
The sponges are gone.
They are gone. Everything is gone. So I think something needs to be done as this house, otherwise we'll not have our indigenous seeds in the future. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the motion, but with some caution and improvement. There are words which were used, but which have not been included. At least the word of the description of what should be done should include improvement. The seeds need to be improved, ladies and gentlemen, honorable colleagues. So we need to, so our local seeds which we have may be good, but they can do better if they're improved, and we need to allocate a lot of resources.
Please go on, Honorable.
The improvement should be done to support productivity to improve. I'll give you clear examples. Maize itself which we are having, leave alone this other one, the major hybrids, but if you look at Longe 5, Longe 5 is almost indigenous, and it will continue and give you better yields compared to others. If you look at coffee, I'm sure the coffee which you have, which is doing very well, was just improved. It brings me to the issue. Patenting is not wrong. Patenting actually makes the value of your products be higher. I want to mention that the highest part of the value chain in agriculture are seeds. That's the highest part where you get more money. If we had patented, say, our coffee, the ones we are having, we would get more money and even sell it, only even the seeds. So we need to think of patenting. We need to think of improving the local seeds which we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Etuka, Lilian, Ismat.
Thank you very much,
Brenda.
Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Right, Honorable Speaker, the issue of indigenous seeds is a very serious matter. I want to thank the move of this motion. Right, Honorable Speaker, when we look at the current seeds which are now given to us, we are very soon leading to food colonization. Because from the time we received the seeds from NADS 1, NADS 2, NADS 3 in the West Nile region, you find that the indigenous cassava stocks have disappeared. And now it has caused a lot of food insecurity in the area. Just as our colleagues have said, yes, when I looked at the improved seeds, in fact, they are very close to the GMOs because none of those.
Let's give them at least 2 minutes so that we get as many, okay? Because we are ending at 6. Now I'm seeing, so conclude, Honorable.
Yeah. Right, Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, it is evident that these improved seeds, and even as a colleague said, even the improved animal species have.
Sorry, I think we need an improved microphone. The indigenous one has, yes, Lilian.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank
please check.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the mover of this motion. I want to agree that we need to take a stand on restoring our indigenous seeds. Right Honorable Speaker, the improved seeds we have now are actually increasing the level of poverty in our communities because you cannot store them for long. When you harvest maize, within 5 months, there would already be insects, so you cannot keep them. The cassava varieties we used to have in West Nile, you could actually keep cassava for 5 years and in the field, and it would be okay. But now within 1.5 years, the cassava is getting rotten. Right, Honorable Speaker, people have now ignored the storage facilities they had because you cannot keep beans for long, you cannot keep groundnuts for long. Right, Honorable Speaker, these improved seeds, right now, I think of the diseases we have, cancer, which is affecting all ages, and at times I wonder, is it the type of food that we're eating now? So for me, we need to look into this. In West Nile, we used to grow a lot of tobacco, and we're using fertilizer, herbicides. Our soil fertilities are now very low. In this bill, let us look into the issues of restoring our fertility of land and making sure that when we start growing the indigenous seeds, we can have better yields. Thank you.
Dr. Ismat.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate Honorable Abedi Bwanika. He was actually my lecturer, and I want to agree with him 100%. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue we are handling at hand is a very serious issue. We are talking about the seeds, and we are aware as scientists it has also moved to animals, and probably in the near future it will even move to human beings. Yeah, we're already crossing human beings. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, in order to ensure continuity of these seeds, it's well known that there is a seed bank Just like in animals, there is a semen bank, and probably in humans, we shall also have a human bank. As a vet who has been on the field for over 20 years, I want to agree with the Honorable Abedi Bwanika, my lecturer. When we look at the improved livestock, it is now very clear that survivability depends on a number of factors of those animals. If we get tempted to introduce exotic animals in Uganda here, most of them will die. The reason is that the climatic conditions and other factors don't favor. So in this case, I want to agree with the mover of the motion that preserving our local seeds, the indigenous seeds, is the best way to go. If we run away from them, honestly, we are going to have a disastrous situation in our country.
Brenda Namkuta. Oh, yes. Brenda, then Marisa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, I would like to thank the mover of the motion. But in my own opinion, Right Honorable Speaker, we shouldn't take this issue lightly, because most of the seeds, or most of the products of these seeds, is what we feed on. Right Honorable Speaker, the challenge we have is that they are very expensive. And you find that if you are to follow the seasons in villages, some farmers end up giving up because the seeds are very expensive. And this is leading to high levels of hunger, especially in times of planting season. Now, like this second season, you'll find that very many people have not replanted because they don't have money. Right Honorable Speaker, these seeds have already affected our soils. This debate was long overdue. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to encourage our farmers or improve the granaries, like one of the colleagues said. Because if there is no proper way of storing this food, people will still cry of hunger. In my district, it is always tough during times of planting season. Right Honorable Speaker, the unfortunate bit of it is that the competition towards the indigenous products out of these seeds and the improved seeds, you find that when you put products on market, these other products they sell, they're on market. So you find that even you, honorable colleagues, even if you go to a market, you'll look at what looks better than the other. Indigenous is better, but there is a lot of competition anyway. Right Honorable Speaker, it is also a problem to us members. Sometimes you give us seeds here, sometimes you don't. It was worse this year. And we request that, like you see now farmers are crying. And they cry to us. I request that every season, you improvise for us so that we support our farmers. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, I was listening attentively. I want to give an example of my area. There is this banana, in our area we call it Kawanda. I don't even know the name, but our locals call it fear. So we should fear it. So is it fear? Is it? Eh? Now, this thing is tasteless. So we thought it had come for food security, but now we only use it for waraji. But also the waraji doesn't taste good, the waraji from it. So the one of sugar cane and what is better? Eh? So even
Right Honorable, once that plant is put in your banana plantation, there is a way it weakens the indigenous plants. And you find at the end of the day, the plants have already become weaker, and the other one has already colonized the whole plantation. And when you look at the yields again, you find that after like 2 years, it completely goes down, and then you come to square one. So the issue is these improved plants and the seeds, their agenda is to make sure we become dependent on their technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, well, I was talking about that Kawanda. It can produce for you something the size of Badyomunsi. Just one bunch of. Me, I don't know. I just see very big things. The size, the Kawandas are those ones not performing well. The one performing well produces Badyomunsi size.
I am just seeking clarification from you, Right Honorable.
Yes, sir.
Because when I was outside, they said Kawanda is tasteless. Did you mean Kawanda or Kawanda?
No. We talked of the size, not the taste. Okay? I had heard Honorable Melissa and then the Honorable colleague in the corner. I've forgotten her name. That is okay. Nakasongora and Bunyaruguru. I'm coming like this, Honorable colleagues. I'm coming like this. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this golden opportunity. I want to join my colleagues to thank the move of this motion because it directly touches our life. Right Honorable Speaker, some of us have lived this long to witness and even affirm to how our predecessors preserved yes, the indigenous seeds. I vividly remember that we will collect the bamba harvest from the garden. After preservations, the best seeds will be selected and wait for the next season. And this will be replanted and still receive a bumper harvest. The farmers, the local farmers who have never gone to school but sustained their life on agriculture would avert the challenge of soil fertility by rotational planting. If this season that this indigenous seed does not do well in this soil, they will change to another crop so that the soil fertility is maintained. Right Honorable Speaker, to add on to that, our local farmers still need a lot to adopt the modern farming systems due to many factors. Like my colleagues have mentioned, it's very expensive even to acquire the improved.
Thank you, Honorable Zawede.
Thank
Honorable
you.
colleagues, I'm trying to see if we can get time for other.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to second the move of the motion, and I want to appreciate him. Right Honorable Speaker, our traditional seeds are really good because they are resilient to different harsh climatic conditions compared to the exotic ones. And also, Right Honorable Speaker, our traditional seeds are so good in the way that they are durable. They can easily be kept for some long period compared to the exotic one. The exotic ones are always affected by the pests, and our farmers are not good at buying pests in order to maintain the plants. So supporting the motion by encouraging our farmers and calling upon our fellow stakeholders at all levels to please encourage our traditional seeds so that we can preserve, protect, and safeguard the environment. Thank you so much. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable Kasande, Honorable Chibaju.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I also join my colleagues. Thank the mover and support the motion. Right Honorable Speaker, our indigenous seeds they last longer. They are nutritious and tasty. For example, when you consider our local eggs, our local, not eggs, not really eggs, when you, for example, when you consider our local hens, they give us nutritious and tasty eggs compared to the non-indigenous hens. Right, Honorable Speaker, that's why I support the issue of establishing, of coming up with national food reserve in order to ensure the continuity of our local seeds. Right, Honorable Speaker, in Genesis chapter 41, verse 48, our ancient Joseph was able to guide and command all Egyptians to collect food that helped them go through 7 years without famine. So, right, Honorable Speaker, I really support the motion. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you can see the people of Rubirizi sent Pastor Grace Kasande Bataringaya. Thank you. Honorable Naomi Chibaju.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I want to first of all to thank Honorable Turo for bringing this debate to the floor of this House. I know he has been passionate about it and corresponding with us even on WhatsApp. But Right Honorable Speaker, I'm also a small farmer in my own right. But what I have observed is our becoming very excited about new things without giving them due consideration. For instance, I have seen people jump onto these hash avocado plants everywhere. This country has indigenous avocado plants, indigenous, sweet, tastier, and better, in different sizes and shapes. Every household has a plant or so. But people now have moved to hash avocado plants because we have been told that we shall reap more, get more funds from those avocados. So we stand to lose our original avocados in this country. And once we lose them, we shall lose them forever. So many people have given us advice, and I want to thank the Honorable who explained the difference between the indigenous and GMOs. Because many people think the new plants, the new are GMOs. I think the message we should take home now is that these are two different things, and they can be treated as such.
Honorable Mamawi.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, as I second the motion, I want to thank the committee for bringing this out, but there are areas which we must also understand. I expect my senior colleagues to talk about it. Honourable Abed Panika. Right Honourable Speaker, there is a purpose why there is a need for improving the breeds of either animals or crop. And aware, Right Honourable Speaker, you cannot get a new crop when you don't have a parent stock. And the parent stock which we are talking about are the local breeds. You cannot produce new crop when you don't have those local breeds. Therefore, we are saying, yes, we can preserve our local breeds, which we totally agree. But still, there is a need to improve their breeds, which we call the high-yielding ones. Right Honourable Speaker, you gave a very good example here. You just go to Luero here. If you are at Luero, you can ask the ones who are selling bananas. I need the bogoya ya Muganda. Then they give you a local one. When you go and just you buy something which is new, they call it nuts.
Is that a Jumani language? Because no, we have an official language here.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
What did you say?
So, Right Honorable Speaker, all in all, what I'm saying is, as we discuss this, we must not attribute the debate to other agronomic practices, which can be applied selectively. We have areas where even if you don't apply fertilizers, other crops can do well. Therefore, those will not be an issue as far as GMO and local breeds are concerned. Right Honorable Speaker, we have crops which are still at the...
Thank you, Honorable Iruko. Then Honorable Rebiambu, then Honorable Noah, Honorable Tony.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I really support the motion for the maintenance and protection of our local breeds, for example. I am really very happy that Karamoja is one of the areas that has been dictated by climate to stop some of this extension. But it has affected even our human beings. When you see even the nature of our children, some of them have become like me. My madam is shorter. I am also short, but the child is, I don't know. So
Honorable, you are unaffected. Are you an affected human being?
So, I am just saying, the nature of the food, the nature of the food we are eating, even as you look around us here, there are original people and others who are not, who are modified. However, if you know, food is a time bomb for a country. If a country like Uganda does not protect its food, we are destined to get finished. However, I therefore stand strong to say, let government come in full force, such that it can help us. For us in Karamoja, we also sometimes get these things, but what helps us is that when you bring improved animals like the cows, whatever, they don't take long. They all die. And that's why you see, because they are trying to eradicate the local breeds of whatever we have, we are in it constant akoro or anger. We call it akoro in our language. Because every day you want to put this one, the season comes, it dries. Even the animals, these dairy cows, we are.
Thank you. I hope many people of Karenga are not affected. Honorable Rebiambu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to join my colleagues to support the motion and also contribute on the discussion. I want to say that most of us here, when you're buying some of these products, you go to the market and you ask for the local bananas compared to Kawanda, as Right Honorable Speaker has earlier mentioned. I want members to take a leaf from His Excellency, the President of this country. Most of us have seen him when he is in his farm looking after his indigenous cows. Why do you think he has kept them? Amidst having exotic breeds, having a lot of milk that we get from those cows, he has kept his local breed. For sustainability, for identity of this country, we need to keep our local and indigenous seeds and other animals. Thank you.
Yes. I had, because I picked all people who stood this side, I picked. So my brother Cherangat, we can't go back. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand also to support the motion. Right Honorable Speaker, if this country goes ahead to depend on the multinational seed corporations, we are going to become dependent as a country. And Mr. Speaker, when we become dependent as a country, that will mean that those ones with seeds, which entirely will become food, will become our bosses. At the end of the day, this country will come in a situation where they would say that to give you food, give us your resources. And Uganda has a lot of natural resources, and you never know, people might be targeting them. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, biodiversity had come up to support farmers, and they had constructed seed banks in a number of districts. And farmers who are organized started bringing those cereals to the banks. I want to cite an example, Mr. Speaker, in Nakasongola. There is a seed bank, which was opened by General Salim Saleh, and the farmers who are organized brought their seeds there. But when we had an exhibition in Nakasongola, they sold the seeds. They remained with few to plant the next season. Indeed, they planted, but the season was bad. So I think now, as I talk, they have little. I want to empower government to get interested and support those organized groups with their seed banks so that we begin with those ones. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ayotoni. Honorable Diek. Honorable Ayotoni has been buying original breeds from Ankore.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I am an original human being. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to start by thanking Honorable Dr. Buturu for bringing this issue on table of Parliament formally and giving us opportunity to take a decision on it. I want to start with a sapling that if you do not know where you are going, you should never make a mistake of forgetting where you have come from. Right Honorable Speaker, we don't understand the agenda of the Monsantos and the rest in controlling food through seeds. So I think on promotion, protection, and preservation, let's now take as government to ensure that these indigenous seeds are selected, are multiplied, are banked, and then where possible governments should pattern it on behalf of the citizen, and we have control over them. Whether you want to talk of improvement, go and pick from our bank, our regional and indigenous. You can improve them depending on whatever you want to do with it, but you'll know you can always run back to it. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, God gave us these plants here, and seeds and animals, and they have been almost like medicine to us. But with the improvement, we are losing some of the components in them. So I want to ask that can we now formally come and have a law or policy that will guide on how government would call people to identify whether plants, whether animals, with a good breed on how they look at them, either government.
Thank you, Honorable Diek. Then Honorable Cherukut, Honorable Kabanda.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. I'd like to thank Honorable Buturu for really bringing this on the floor of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm wondering if we can still go back to the original seeds. And I think we are going to start from where we are right now, going backwards. Yes, because we want to preserve the seeds, but we don't have the original seeds anymore. Are they there? The maize that we used to hang in the grass thatch houses, then they may be preserved by the smoke. Yes, yes. If we can still go back there, then we shall be talking sense on the floor of this Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted to ask Honorable Abed Banika, that is it about playing with English? Because we have improved seeds, hybrid, yes, genetically modified. So the hybrids, are they not genetically modified? Because I know with GMOs, These are really, really organisms, living organisms that are generated from the laboratory. And then they are mixed with other genes of some plants. That's when they become genetically modified. But then when we look at hybrid, we are taking two parent plants, two parent seeds, two different. Then we crossbreed them. Then they become improved seeds. I think I understood you there. I don't know. But really, yes, we have to understand this very well. Now we used to have cassava that could last, like the way one of the colleagues brought forward, for like 5 years, more 5 years. Now we have very, very many species of cassava.
Thank you, Honorable Cherukul. No, my Honorable Bwanika will respond to you later because you didn't go through me. You said I want to ask Honorable Bwanika. If it was through me, I would give him space. But now, since it wasn't through me,
Much obliged.
So after
Right,
here,
Honorable.
please, you answer the
We
comment.
shall interact more with Abed Bwanika.
thank
We
you.
are all scientists. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate the mover of this motion. And I want to bring my discussion out from the perspective of when I look at the general level of all the farmers across the country. Most of our farmers are still living below the poverty line. And if they are below the poverty lines, it means the exotic breeds that have been introduced into this country have come in to kill the poor, the peasants in the local districts. They cannot afford the seed. They don't have a penny to buy. It's the reason I stand firmly to support the mover of this motion, that the indigenous seed of both seeds and animals should be retained. When you look at the improved varieties around, many times you may realize that the inputs that are added are always impacting on negatively on our lives. People have suffered from cancers, to mention but a few. So it's my firm stand that the indigenous breed be retained. And a very good example, of course, when we look at into these exotic things is, let me talk about chicken. The local chicken, when you go to the market, the local and exotic. When the two are cooked, you realize the difference. And you'll appreciate me that when
Honorable Kawanda. Procedure first. Procedure, Honorable Singoma.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, as the Honorable Member was speaking here, I was observing here our rules, Rule 82, and I was wondering under which dress code she falls. I beg to be guided, Right Honorable Speaker, by you, whether the Honorable Member is... I refer to the Speaker.
You know, Honorable, the dress code of ladies is one of those which are very difficult to... But the rule says for female members, a suit, dress with jacket, blouse and skirt, or blouse and skirt with jacket, decent traditional wear, military attire. So now what is missing is the jacket. Yes. Yeah, thank you. She's... we can accommodate for today, okay? But she has taken note. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Honorable Kawanda.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And also I want to thank Honorable Sababuturo for coming up with this idea of protecting our indigenous seeds. But Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to implore this Parliament to understand that these people are very clever. They began with the GMOs. When you defeated them, they now went into improved seeds. They have now, what they have done is only to change the word from GMOs to improved seeds. But these are the same seeds. Right Honorable Speaker, we may be here trying so much to protect our indigenous seeds, but we should also protect our soils. Because what these people are doing is to bring on the market these herbicides. I have consulted Honorable Abedi Wanika, and he said, the more you use these herbicides, the more the soils get affected. Even if you protect the indigenous seeds and you don't protect the soils, still you are going to plant them and they will not germinate. So these people are very clever. You may want to protect the seeds when the soils are not protected and you are doing nothing. So I would like to ask this Parliament, as we protect the seeds, we should also protect the soil. Because what is on the market, Right Honorable Speaker, as we speak now.
Thank you. Honorable Yakatonda. Then Honorable Aogon.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Then Honorable Katabazi.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm quite familiar with the subject at hand. And before I submit, let me dispel the myth that comes with the two understandings, GMO and biotechnology. Biotechnology, we just manipulate the genes just slightly to increase yield, shortening the time and resistance. Whereas GMOs, as known in the European countries, they are called Frankenfoods. Frankenfoods in that they are distorting the creation of God, which they have been accused for causing cancer, which they have not dispelled, for leading to sterility and contamination of the environment. So all these have not been dispelled. So, Right Honorable Speaker, to bring the point back home, in the 18th century, there was one theory called the malicious. We come up to the malicious theory on food. He said food was growing spontaneously. Population was growing spontaneously, whereas food was growing arithmetically. So that it would reach a time when the population could not support itself, and what would result would be death. So his fellow technocrats advised him that that was not possible because there would be technology. So I want to support Honorable Sauturo because this is actually what we call our heritage. And the danger is when we lose independence on food. Even right from the creation, God punished the people to conform by removing food. That's why we come up with theories on conditioning. So, Right Honorable Speaker, what I would like to urge, as we do this, we should strengthen our research. For example, when we strengthen NARO currently is underfunded and understaffed, then we can actually have sufficient food. Speaker, if I could do.
Thank you. Honorable Aogon.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. If we do not protect our soils from these GMOs and the so-called biotechnology seeds, one day the soil that we have in Uganda will be favorable only for construction and not agriculture. And therefore, it is very, very pertinent. This is a hearty matter that we must take so seriously, Right Honorable Speaker. Number two, these days we lose market because we cannot preserve whatever we have got when we have a bumper harvest. 6 months, everything is gone. The prices are low, you cannot wait until the prices are up. Therefore, this is a matter which is not only of Ugandans, but East Africa and Africa. as a continent, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to front to this House that we must put a ban on the importation, promotion, multiplication, and everything to deal with GMOs. If we do that, then we are safe. If we don't do that, then we are doomed. One day, God will raise a point of procedure and point of order on us for not preserving his will. The indigenous food is the will of God, and we must preserve it. That one we must do it, Right Honorable Speaker. This House needs to pass a policy and law that preserves the indigenous seed. Come to Kumi, taste the chicken that we roast there, and then compare to yours from this end, this one of Namaojolo. Then you tell me the difference. You go and get this fish here from the fishy pond and compare to the one of Lake Victoria, and then you see the difference. Right Honorable Speaker, you'll come back and agree with me. Then you say, let us second the motion. This motion is for seconding, and everybody of us must support it. I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Katavazi.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like first of all to join my colleagues in thanking the mover and the technical people who have guided us through this. I think Honorable Nsavabutulo, if you are to be a seed, you would be an indigenous one. The point I want to raise with this, you see, I think this contradiction we are having between hybrid and GMO, whenever you see what has been produced not being able to reproduce, I think some of you, most of you have tested the oranges that don't have seeds in them. That means you can never get a copy of that orange again. So, and now the other bit is the mathematical. Because food is one of our necessities. We have 3 basic necessities: food, shelter, and clothing. Now, food is one of the ways. If you have food, that is the first step to being wealthy, to having at least attaining the minimal wealth. But now today, when you buy seeds, let's say at 20,000 a kilo or 10,000, let's say maize seeds, when you are to sell, you will sell at a kilo at 500 shillings. So mathematically, economically, the farmers would be suffering. You need to sell 40 kilos in order to claim the money you used for just one kilo of seeds. So this
Thank you. Honorable Nabukera and Honorable Namboza.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to support the motion, and I don't want to divert. I want to re-emphasize that we need storage systems and preservations of our traditional seeds. That one I agree. But at the same time, we also have to preserve our soils, because originally the soils that we had before are not the soils that we have of late. That's why we have resorted to bringing in fertilizers such that we can have our crops or our plants be on the standards that we want. But that one also comes out as economy. The economy as it is. People want faster things. What I mean is you plant, because you want your plant to grow in about 3 months, then you'll opt for fertilizers, and yet those fertilizers that are in our country here, some of them are not of standards to the soils, or that can bring the quality of the food that we want to get out of that. So I still remain and then support that we should preserve the soils, we should preserve the traditional seeds, and then to see that we get better output of our seeds. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Namboza.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank Honorable the mover of this motion, and the seconders. Right Honorable Speaker, what we are handling here is bigger than any of us can imagine right now, because it is an international trend which, in my opinion, seeks to enslave Africa forever. Food security, Right Honorable Speaker, and the insecurity that comes with buying seeds every season is, in my opinion, worse than slave trade. Mr. Speaker, sir, the GMOs and their sisters, the improved seeds, are meant to enslave our people to be regular buyers of seeds every season. But when they talk about the issue of improvement, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to ask where the word improvement comes from. What is improvement when you have a seed that you grow in one season and you cannot use to replant? What is improvement in that? What is improvement in producing crops that are tasteless and therefore fetches very little for the farmers? What improvement is there when you are growing seeds that are prone to pests and you have to spray constantly using expensive chemicals? And what improvement is there when you are planting seeds that need fertilizers every other day, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, the improvement that they are talking about has just been planted into our people's heads. There is nothing like improvement in these seeds.
Honorable Singoma, Honorable Cooper.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I think I need protection from the PLU man in the names of Kabanda. You know, now they don't have much work now. They don't have much work, so they're only doing gossiping around. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank my colleague, Elder Buturo, for a very good resolution presented, and I think this is better late than never. This should have come yesterday. Very, very important motion, and we all think that this can take us far in terms of addressing this problem. However, Honorable Speaker, my concern was that I didn't hear much on the means of mitigating the problem being faced by by our traditional seeds, because there are many factors which militate against the survival of our traditional seeds. If we can see where we have come from and where we are going, it really means that we needed to rise to the occasion. We needed to run where we've been walking to ensure that we protect